Viewmasters. It's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters. Talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters. My friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters. Hey, let's start the show.
Hello, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 202, The Black Cauldron. My name is Joe.
And my name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, I guess.
Good. Yeah?
Yeah. Possible
Unsure?
spoiler.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Anyway.
We can get right into it.
Okay, that sounds good.
This was fine.
Was it really, though?
I mean, it was slow, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that there were things in it that I thought were neat.
Okay, that is probably the most fair assessment of this movie that can be said, I think.
Have you ever seen a Lord of the Rings movie?
Yeah, I've seen the three theatrical ones, yes.
Then this is a lot like that. It felt very similar to Lord of the Rings.
Essentially, yes.
Or like a weird mix. There was some Star Wars in there, I thought.
Okay.
With our main character Tyrant. When we meet him, he just wants to go off to war.
Yeah, okay, I can see that for sure. Yeah.
So like he's sort of a Luke Skywalker-y, gets thrust into this situation.
And instead of a moisture farmer, he's a pig tender.
Yeah, he's a pig boy.
Yeah, that's got to be a great nickname and title to walk through life with, right?
It looks great on your resume, that's for sure.
I'm adding it to my resume the next time I look for a job.
You definitely should.
Not as like any kind of job title, just Eric Schonborn, pig boy, address,
right. Under skills. Pig boy, fairly accomplished pig boy. I will not be answering any questions at this time.
I don't like to brag about it.
Yeah. It was a special time in your life.
Yeah. So, I think I mentioned sort of last episode when I picked this that I had seen this once.
Oh, you had? Okay, I couldn't remember if you'd seen it or not.
Back in 1985 or whenever it came to theaters.
Okay.
So I was probably 6 or 7 years old at the time.
So you were one of the few people who saw this in a theater.
Yes, I was.
Congratulations. Nice.
And, I mean, I remember liking it as a child, but I also remember absolutely nothing about this movie otherwise.
Okay.
So it was pretty much as if I had watched it for the very first time yesterday.
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely did watch it for the first time today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not going to watch it again, to be completely honest.
I will probably not ever do so again either.
Yeah.
We both mentioned as we got on this call, both of us got very sleepy while watching this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I
will confess, I know I started this a little bit late, so you had to wait for me, and I apologize for that.
It's fair.
I did take about a 5-minute nap at one point. Like, I just paused it and was like, I need to just rest my eyes for a few minutes, because I don't think I'm going to make it otherwise.
That is 100% fair. Yeah, I watched it last night. I started it around like 7:30 or so, and around 8 I was just like, maybe I should just go to bed. Just watch the rest of this tomorrow. I don't know.
I think what we can say is that the Black Cauldron is a very effective sleep aid.
Yes. Definitely cured my insomnia. It's slow.
It is slow, and
it's only like 80 minutes long, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's an hour 20.
Yeah.
And much of it is just spent like there's not a ton of plot to this movie. Like there's the magic pig. Okay, so hold on. So
yes.
So not only is there not a lot of plot, but a lot of stuff that's just not developed at all or explained. Like we don't really know why the pig is magic that I know of.
So the pig's not magic.
I'm sorry, the pig is an oracle. The pig can see things.
Yes.
Is that not magic?
And then transmit those things that it sees through water.
Right. Again, is that not magic?
No.
We have different understandings of what's magic.
This is just a thing that pigs do.
Okay. When he's not hunting for truffles, he's seeing the future and or things that are happening far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, did you never see Babe Big in the City?
You know, I forgot that element of it. I forgot the many phone calls that he has with James Cromwell while he's lost in the city.
And, telling him the future.
Right, yeah, of course. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm going to get lost in the city.
Right.
But it'll be fine because I can see it and I get home safe.
Right, yeah. Magical pig.
Yeah, magical pig.
Yeah.
Does Taran, does he have parents? We know that he's a pig boy for Dalbin. I don't really know what their relationship is otherwise.
I believe it appears to be, apprentice,
Oh yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, it's set in that sort of time period, I suppose.
So no, there are no parents that we are aware of. I will say that after watching it, I did a little bit of a cursory Wikipedia dive.
Okay.
Into this movie. It is based on a series of novels. Disney had been trying to basically make this movie since like 1970.
Okay.
But the initial novels, there's 5 of them, were written in the late 60s, and I believe one of them deals with Taran's parentage, and where he comes from, who his parents are, etc., etc.
Okay.
So I believe that's basically just supposed to be, at this point, not a concern. So
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get to it in the sequel.
Yeah. One of the sequels.
It's a shame.
Yes. Boy.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Do you want to get into the Jar Jar of it yet?
I thought he was more akin to Gollum. But you're absolutely right. He's totally Jar Jar.
Again, in my Wikipedia dive, apparently this character inspired Andy Serkis to how he performed Gollum.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does. Because
it sounds just like him.
Yeah. It's a Gollum by way of Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, furry guy.
Yeah.
Furry Gollum.
Boy, God, did I hate him a lot.
What, you hated his Donald Duck sounding voice? And the fact that you couldn't understand a damn thing he was saying?
I did turn on subtitles for this movie. I am not gonna lie. I read this movie.
I mean, between the names, which I definitely looked up, and yeah, that character Gurgi,
that's his name.
Who I could not understand what he was saying.
Crunchins and munchins.
Right, yes.
Yeah, that's all you need.
It was, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what he says over and over and over again. Oh, boy. Yeah, Gurgi, I was glad when he disappeared after his first scene, and then he came back.
Yep.
And it was disappointing.
And, no super spoilers, but he disappears again.
Yeah.
And I was super enthusiastic about that.
Yeah, this movie is dark.
Yes, it is.
And not what I was expecting from... I mean, I guess you can sort of tell just from the look of it that it's a fantasy adventure story. But yeah, Gurgi dies.
Yeah.
And it's real sad because he's just like, well, no one will miss me. Into the cauldron I go. And then, yeah, he's just dead.
Yep. In that moment, I did feel like, oh, that's me.
Oh, man.
But then also, whatever emotional impact I feel was supposed to be felt in that moment was not there.
Right.
'Cause I did not give a shit that he did that.
Yeah, mostly I felt surprise that the movie was going in that direction.
Yeah.
I will say I would miss you a lot more than I would miss Gurgi.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Though admittedly I would not miss Gurgi at all.
Nope. There is no reason to. Gosh. Yeah, this movie gets super dark. It's a beautiful movie. I will definitely give it that all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a few different times just that I love hand-drawn animation. It's
Me too.
so good, and to never see it anymore. I did read that this movie was one of the first Disney movies to use some computer-generated elements.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's all hand-drawn, and it's spectacular to look at. I loved it.
Yeah. I would say that I know that the CG elements are minimal, but
Yeah.
I was never able to actually tell when they were happening.
Yeah, definitely. Like one of the things I guess was the little floating orb of colored light that sort of flits around them during a few points in the movie.
Yeah.
I hadn't, it's seamless. I had no idea that was not hand drawn. Like there are maybe a couple of parts where there's like what looks like actual flame that appears, and I just it's not distracting at all. Like I could sort of tell, but also it looked cool. So
Right.
So no complaint for that.
No, not at all. Yeah, this movie, I would describe it as lush.
Yeah, that's a perfect word for it.
It reminded me a lot also of Ralph Bakshi animation.
Yeah.
And I watched all the credits because I just wanted to see if he did have some hand in it, but he did not.
Yeah, I read that they approached him about it, I guess.
Okay.
And he turned it down because he thought that his work was too adult for a Disney project.
Gotcha. But he also did Lord of the Rings.
But he also did Lord of the Rings, yeah.
or The Hobbit, or whatever it was he did.
I think he did.
Or was there two of them?
There was Lord of the Rings, which was sort of a combination of the Fellowship and the Two Towers, if I remember right. And then there was Return of the King, that was a separate movie, and then I think he also did The Hobbit.
Okay.
So yeah, he did all of the Tolkien stuff.
And we're talking the animated ones from
Yes, from the late 70s,
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
I've never seen those.
I've never seen those either. Actually, watching this sort of made me want to watch those because I'm curious.
Same. But I probably won't go out of my way unless it's your next pick.
That's fair. It was not going to be my next pick.
Okay, all right.
but I'll keep it in mind for the future.
Okay. I did see a name in the credits though that made me kind of happy to see that name, and could totally see his influence in there. But Mike Ploog.
Oh, really?
Did some of the character designs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Famed comic artist. Did a lot of Man-Thing, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed his artwork. So that's very cool.
Yeah, I read also that I guess Tim Burton did some design work for this movie.
Yeah, I think I read a little bit about that too. And of course it was co-directed by Richie Rich.
What?
One of the co-directors.
What did I miss?
One of the co-directors is named Richard Rich. I can only just assume.
It was a vanity project. He financed it himself.
Yep.
He lost a lot of money.
Yeah, he's fine though.
Yeah, probably.
He'll be okay. So yeah, so it is basic. It's your basic sort of, young kid wants to be greater than he is, goes on a simple task, turns into this heroic journey, picks up some friends to fight the ultimate evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's a road movie.
Yeah.
It's sort of Wizard of Ozzy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just in the, like you said, picking up the sort of oddball group of characters.
Right. Whose names I don't even want to try.
There's a princess.
Yep.
There's a minstrel.
Yep. And Gurgi.
And Gurgi.
Yep.
Who dies.
Yeah. But then there's the ultimate evil. He's the Horned King, who's sort of a Skeletor type, although not as goofy.
Yeah.
Like if Skeletor were truly terrifying.
Yeah, like I almost sort of thought of it as a cross between Skeletor and Mumra.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Or like the not jacked Mumra, like robed,
creepy
Mumra. Yeah. Voiced by John Hurt.
I know, which I only I didn't realize that as I was watching it.
Yeah, I definitely didn't either.
Which is weird. He has a fairly distinctive voice. But yeah, that's cool. He lends that character a pretty good menace.
Yeah, I think, is he the only name actor, or actor that I guess we would recognize that's not just a voice actor that's in the movie?
I recognized the names of Nigel Hawthorne, only just because I think he was just in a ton of things throughout his life.
Okay, that name actually does sound familiar.
I think he was the voice of the minstrel with the crazy name that I'm not going to try. It starts with an F.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And Phil Fondacaro is he's a pretty well-known little person actor.
Okay.
I'm gonna look him up real quick, but I know for sure he was in the first Troll movie.
Okay. I can't say as I've seen that.
I'll just say it's the best Troll movie.
I heard that Troll 2 was the best Troll movie.
It's the best worst movie for sure.
Oh, okay.
He was also in Willow. He was an Ewok.
Nice.
He was in the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh, wow.
In a movie called Evil Bong.
Okay, sure.
He was in Land of the Dead. But yeah, he's just been on a ton of movies. But he played Creeper, the little green goblin-y henchman to the
Gotcha.
Horned King.
You had the Green Goblin that looked like the Green Goblin.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you could say that if you want.
I mean, green skin, purple clothes. That's what I think of.
No, yeah, that's absolutely yes. I guess he was not in Troll. That's upsetting.
No? Oh.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. Now I want to find out who that was in Troll. The original Harry Potter movie.
What?
The name of the lead kid, played by the kid from The Neverending Story. His name is Harry Potter Jr.
Are you serious? That's
Yep.
crazy.
Oh, wait, no, he is in Troll. What the fuck, IMDB?
So the Horned King is looking for the Black Cauldron, which is an object of great power, and he plans to use it to raise an army of the dead.
Yep.
So, normal family Disney fare.
Yeah, it's just a smidge darker than your average Disney movie.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you just putting corpses in cauldrons to raise a zombie army. There's nothing outside of the norm with that.
No, I mean they couch that in there's like fairies and some sort of comic relief witches and all that good stuff, and then just moments of sheer terror.
Yeah. Speaking of the witches, and there's an earlier scene when Tyrant first infiltrates the evil castle. There's some weird boob stuff happening in this movie.
There is, yeah. There's like a I guess you'd say a gypsy woman, dancing, seductively in that scene.
Again, way more seductive than your average Disney movie.
Yeah. And then you're right. One of the witches for sure is
she's bosomy,
mightily endowed.
And there's a scene in which a man almost gets smothered by them.
I must have looked away for that part. I missed that part.
Well, he had been turned into a toad at the time.
Oh, right. Okay.
But he is, as a toad, almost crushed in between some giant cartoon boobs.
I mean, who hasn't?
It's a dream of everyone, I'm sure.
Really? There are internet forums dedicated to the fetish of being turned into a toad and crushed in bosoms.
Oh yeah, I'm horny toad 69 on the main one. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be. That was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fantasy's not really a genre that I usually get into. Like, I feel like the Lord of the Rings movies are kind of an outlier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is about those that works that didn't really do it here, but it just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fantasy guy myself. I like to generally refer to this kind of stuff as elf bullshit.
Right.
And again, yeah, I enjoyed, for the most part, the three Peter Jackson Lord of the Ring movies. I feel like I think that's more a statement of what a good filmmaker Peter Jackson is, rather than, the subject matter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also, performances help as well, You can't go wrong with a Sean Astin in anything.
Right.
The sole standout from many of those movies.
I mean, he's the hero, so...
It is true. He's our Gurgi.
Oh, no.
No.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's yeah, I've never been into this genre, basically. So I'm not even sure why I had fond memories of this movie. It's possibly only because I just did not remember it.
Maybe even as a kid you just appreciated how cool everything looked.
I mean, the scene when the Horned King raises the dead, basically everything involving the Black Cauldron, like, just sort of hazily stood out in my mind as just being very awesome looking.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah, like it looked like an Iron Maiden video or something.
Maybe, which is weird. I never got into Iron Maiden until I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I've never been into Iron Maiden. I don't know where I pulled that from. But...
I don't either. I don't think their videos look anything like that.
When I think of Iron Maiden, that's what I think of. Is the Black Cauldron.
That's weird.
I know, because I've never seen the Black Cauldron before today.
I mean, Iron Maiden videos generally just tend to be them playing on a stage, and then there's like an animatronic mummy thing.
Maybe the mummy thing is the thing I'm thinking of.
It's fun. There, I could see, an Eddie as the Horned King kind of thing happening.
That's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go on YouTube and look up fan mashup videos of Iron Maiden songs and scenes from the Black Cauldron.
If they don't exist, then I think it's your duty to make them.
Don't say that. Because I'll do it.
Oh, come on. You don't have anything better to do.
That's true. I don't have anything going on.
That's why you're doing this podcast again.
No one will miss Gurgi.
No. So, extra spoiler. Gurgi comes back.
Yeah. Sorry, that sounded real disappointed.
That's the sound of how I felt when it happened.
I thought, so I feel like there's a Disney thing where they will make you think that a character is dead, and then they're not actually dead. Like, I mainly think of it in Finding Nemo, because there's a point when they actually do find Nemo, but it's like after he's been through this, like, I don't know if it was like a whirlpool or something, but whatever happened is they find Nemo and it looks like Nemo is dead, and it's just the meanest thing that I've ever seen in a movie. Is like they did all this work and they found him and he's dead, but it turned out he wasn't actually dead.
All right.
And that felt like the resurrection of Gurgi felt a lot like that, because there's just like for a long time Taran just holds his lifeless body and it's like it was real sad.
Yeah, it is.
And then he wasn't really dead, which I don't know why. I don't know why I expected that he actually was dead at that point, because like that's even too far for this movie. But for a brief moment, I was like, "Oh man, they gave Gurgi back, and it's just his lifeless body."
I didn't expect him to be dead. They did play that out way longer than I expected it to.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
And I will even admit that they played it out long enough where I almost actually felt something about it.
Wow.
And then he came back and ruined all of it.
Right. Yeah. Started trying to steal stuff out of people's shirts again.
Yeah, I think it was that as his re-entry line. That's that ruined it.
I mean, it's his signature move.
Sure.
It's what all the Gurgi heads love about that character, is how he's always just trying to get something to eat, trying to steal food.
There are almost as many forms for that as there are for toads being squished by boobs.
Oh. So 3.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that my first pick for our return was not great.
No apologies. It's not a movie that I probably would have thought to watch otherwise. So,
Yeah.
so for as somewhat dull as it was, I enjoyed watching it because I knew we would talk about it afterwards. So
True.
I had a good time.
Well, that's good. And again, it's a gorgeous looking movie, and
Yeah, definitely.
it has its moments. Just some of those moments are few and far between, and ruined by other moments that are more frequent.
Right.
Like just long discussion scenes.
Oh boy. Yeah, the Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron. Yeah, I mean, if you want to traumatize really young children, go ahead and give it a watch.
Yeah.
Because I'm certain it probably does that.
I could see it being a good movie to just have on while you're doing other stuff.
Sure.
But, just sitting and paying super close attention to it. I don't know, if you're a big fantasy fan, maybe you'd really like it, but it not so much for me.
Yeah, same. I do like when I'm just watching movies, on my own. I tend to play on my phone a lot, or just or be drawing, or just doing other stuff. But I'm making. Hello, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay. I'm making a concerted effort for the movies that we're doing for the show to keep the phone away and just watch the movie. And I had a real hard time doing that with this one.
Yeah, my mind wandered a lot during this movie.
Yeah. I missed probably two of the only action sequences in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Just because I was just getting bored and started just looking on my phone and missed the only exciting moments and had to rewind.
Yeah.
And at one point, I accidentally hit the home button on my remote control, and it stopped the movie. And then I had to go back and rewind it like 4 or 5 minutes. And that's when I decided that I'm also going to put the subtitles on.
Yeah.
Which actually did help keep me focused a little bit.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it gave you something to do while the movie was on.
Yeah.
I will say I think the only part that I was like really interested in was the sword, and it's somehow a magic sword that apparently fights on its own, and it made Taran like a good fighter by being the one who's in control of it, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
like I thought that was an interesting idea that was not not explored at all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in the later books.
Could be. I mean, it is, also there to set up, that using the sword gives him the, ability to be the great hero that he wishes he could be.
Right.
But it also prevents, the sacrifice that he makes, for the greater good as well. So
that's true.
Yeah. And then Gurgi.
Gurgi.
Yeah. And Gurgi. So yeah, Black Cauldron. It's okay.
It is. It's fine.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Definitely not the best. It may be. Like I've not seen a ton of Disney animated movies, but it's definitely in the bottom tier of the ones I have seen.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. But again, like you mentioned earlier, it is a real joy to watch traditional hand-drawn 2D animation.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is something that is sadly not around as much anymore.
Yeah, I get why. I'm sure it's faster and cheaper to do it on a computer, but it just looks so much better.
Yeah, it really does. Even like I know that Netflix animated movie Claws, which sadly was not based on the Grant Morrison comic.
Right.
I guess that was hand animated.
Oh, nice.
But from the previews, it definitely doesn't look it.
Interesting.
So it put me off a little bit on that. But
yeah.
I hear it's a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, other than that it's not based on the Grant Morrison comic.
I mean, 2-3 people I know who watched it said it's really good. So, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Christmas pick next year.
Yeah, there we go.
So I mean that's pretty much all I got to say about Black Cauldron.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say as well.
Alrighty.
So I guess it's time for me to make a pick.
Sure.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned a Netflix movie.
Oh.
Because I think that my pick is going to be a Netflix movie.
Alrighty.
Have you watched or seen anything for the movie Horse Girl?
I've never heard of Horse Girl.
Okay. I think it came out maybe just a couple weeks ago, so fairly recently. I know Alison Brie's in it.
Okay.
And I watched the trailer for it. I could not tell you what it's about.
Alrighty.
It looks really weird and just kind of cool, so...
Okay.
So, Horse Girl is my pick.
Alright, I like an Alison Brie.
I like Alison Brie as well.
Alright. Horse Girl.
It's going to be worth it just to hear you say that title.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We haven't discussed this, and it's not happening at the moment. But Gutter Trash has a veto policy,
right?
I don't know if you'd like to implement that on our show here. Again, it's not happening at the moment. I will not
Okay.
be using a veto, but just in case, something comes up where one of us is 100% objecting to a choice.
I think that's fair.
All right.
Yeah. Just to have it in our back pocket.
Exactly, yeah. And usually, if I have never heard of a movie, as I have never heard of Horse Girl, I usually don't veto, so.
All right, good to know.
Because God knows what the hell's going to happen.
Right. I don't really know what's going to happen.
All right. I just know that I will enjoy looking at an Alison Brie.
Well, at least you have that to look forward to.
Yeah. It'll tide me over till the last season of Glow.
Right.
Alrighty then.
Cool. Horse Girl.
Horse Girl next time.
All right, see you then.
Goodbye.